Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Alright, so welcome back to our subject SFB 36102 Automotive Safety. So we are currently in the chapter C. The chapter C is the Dynamic Vehicle Simulation Test. Alright, so for this chapter, actually I want to highlight about the simulation test, about the requirement of the simulation test for the frontal collision, lateral collision, rear end collision, and rollover. And recently, I have added another one subchapter, which is the end cap. Alright, so that means we have 5 categories in this chapter. So for the frontal collision, lateral collision, rear end collision, and rollover. Alright, so before that, I just want to explain about the what is the objective of the dynamic vehicle simulation test. So the main objective, we have 3 objective of the dynamic vehicle simulation test, which is number 1, to study the level of injury for the occupant. Alright, so if test, we will use a dummy. So dummy will be tested to study the level of injury. As I mentioned before, we have for the any simulation test, the target of the level of injury is AIS 4 and below. Okay, so this is the first objective. Second objective is to study the effectiveness of the restraint system, so which is seatbelt, airbag, and a child restraint system. Then the third objective is to study the strength of the vehicle body. Alright, but this is for in general for the all type of the simulation test. But for the rear and rollover, we have a 4 objective instead on top of 3 objective for the overall. So for the rear end collision and rollover, another one objective has been added, which is to study about the fuel leakage. Alright, so only for the rear end and rollover have a 4 objective. The rest in general is a 3 objective. Alright, so we will see the requirement for each simulation test. So frontal collision is also known as a head-on collision, which is two vehicles from the opposite direction. The accident two vehicles from the opposite direction. So for the test, for the frontal test, we have several types of the frontal simulation test. So to study this is to study the level of injury, to study the effectiveness of the reference system. Alright, so this category we have a 4 category of the frontal simulation test, which is number 1 is a frontal barrier. So that means the vehicle will hit the barrier in front of the vehicle. So left offset involved with the two vehicles from the opposite direction, but accident through the left area, from the left area of the vehicle 1. So for the right offset is for the left area of the vehicle 1, and left oblique or right oblique, this is the center of the vehicle vehicle 1. So this is 4 main category of the frontal simulation test. But currently in the NCAP data collection, just focusing on the frontal barrier. Okay, this is one of the issue is the cost. If let's say we want to run all the tests, that means we need to, the cost of the testing will be increased. Alright, so the design requirement for the frontal simulation test for the first category, which is frontal barrier, is the longitude front bar must be designed as horizontal as possible. Where is the front bar? So this is the front bar. Front bar must be designed horizontal as possible, okay, to avoid from the bending. Then second requirement is the longitude beam of this area reinforced by the metal shield. This is to avoid from the bending. So we have learned about the HPF before that. So what HPF has been used in this area to ensure the vehicle is not bending, the vehicle is not damaged due to the frontal accident. The side wall must be firmly connected with the wheel of the housing of the vehicle through the A pillar. Where is the A pillar? Okay, so where is the A pillar? The A pillar is here. This is considered A pillar. So the frontal barrier, the side wall must be firmly connected with the wheel housing, reinforced by the middle of the A pillar. Must be transmitted by the door. The integrity of the windshield must be laminated. So normally for the windshield we use a double layer to 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 avoid from the cracking. Okay, so to make sure the windshield remain in the frame, then the steering must be not have a relative movement with the body. Otherwise, we cannot control our vehicle during frontal collision. Okay, so for the test, how they do the test? So the vehicle which minimum 50 km per hour will hitting the barrier. So this is the concrete barrier. So vehicle with the 50 km per hour will hitting the barrier. So after that, we will study about the vehicle. We will study about the level of injury. We will study the effectiveness of braking system. Alright, this is the requirement for the frontal collision. So normally for the frontal collision, we targeted is AIS 3, 2, and between 2 and 3 by using the 50 percentile of the dummy. Right. Then second one is a lateral collision. Lateral collision is the one vehicle hit another one from the side. Okay, so normally happen in the T-junction. So the legal requirement for the dynamic vehicle side impact testing, the vehicle, one vehicle moving straight, then one barrier will hitting the vehicle. Okay, the impact of the 4 pound or 1.8 kilogram rigid barrier with the speed of 32 km per hour. This barrier with the 32 km per hour under 90 degree. So this is must be under 90 degree. Then to learn it as if of the tested car. So here consider as a car, and here is a barrier. Then the impact of moving barrier according with the barrier, sorry, the 32 km per hour, so correct, 32 km per hour, the barrier, the impact of the barrier is 1365 kilogram. So this is the barrier. Okay, barrier with the 1365 kilogram crash at the 54 km per hour. And then the required is 90 degree to meet the center line of the R point. So where is R point? So here is R point. Okay, so this is the barrier actually. The barrier hitting the car with the 52 km per hour actually must have a 90 must from the 90 degree to hit the R point. Alright, so this is the requirement for the side and collision. Then for the uh, okay, this is TTI index. So the requirement is for the two doors I mentioned before that two doors must be used must below the 90, and four doors must be below than 85. Otherwise consider fail. So one of the people asked before that. So if let's say the model is fail, consider they need to redesign the vehicle. For example, here the front Hyundai Accent. How many doors Hyundai Accent have? They have the four doors, but for the test they achieve about 90. Four doors must be below than 85. Consider fail. Okay, so the rest you can see below than 85, but some of NA they haven't do the test during the data collection. Alright, so this is another one. The third one is a rear end collision. Rear end collision is the car in front, the car from the front, so will be hit by the barrier at 80 km per hour. Okay, the barrier will move from the behind and hitting the car under through with the speed 80 kilometer per hour. So on top of three objective, this is adding another one adjective, which is to study about the fuel leakage. Why? Because we have a fuel tank at the behind of the vehicle. Alright, so this is to study about the fuel leakage. Right, so this is some of the model has been tested through the real and collision simulation tests. Okay, some of the category you can see here is failed. Right. Okay, rollover. Rollover, we have two category of rollover: integrity of the fuel tank system, which is the car will be mounted at the device and turn step by step until 360 degree. Okay, this is first category of the rollover. Second category of the rollover is the analysis of the performance for the vehicle occupant. So the car will be put at the slack 23 degree. Then with the ramp up at the speed 43.1 kilometer per hour, and they want to see either the car will be roll or not. Okay, this is four category of the simulation test. The next one is the NCAP. NCAP still stand for the new car assessment program for the Southeast Asia. That's why we call it ASEAN NCAP. So the new edition of the NCAP family is targeted to evaluate the vehicle safety standard, raise the customer awareness, and thus encourage the market several vehicles for the region. Okay, so what is the NCAP? NCAP study about two things. One is the adult occupant protection, AOP. Second one is study about the child occupant protection. If let's say we have both of the category, should be our car should be safe. Okay, so how to calculate the NCAP, how to calculate the test? Alright, so frontal, they will use for the Malaysian study, for the ASEAN study, ASEAN NCAP just focus on the frontal collision crash test. Okay, they will not go through for the other tests. Just for the frontal collision crash test using 50 percentile dummy, using 50 percentile of male, and both driver and two dummy with the 50 percentile male, and we have a two passenger, which is P3 and P1.5. This is refer to the children, which is age 3 years and 1.5 years inside the CRS child reference system. So with the speed of 64 km per hour hitting the barrier. Okay, then they will count some of worst result from dummy in terms of injury level, in terms of strength of the vehicle body, in terms of effectiveness of the system. Consider A. They will minus penalty. And let's say some of the compulsory requirement they are not meeting, A minus B, they will get the result of C. Alright, so from the this is to study the injury level for the C. So this is the category. Total mark is 18 mark, 16 mark. Minimum mark is 0. So this is the range of the number of star. For the score between 14 to 16, consider 5-star rating. 4-star is 11 to 13.99, 8 to 10.99 is 3-star, 5.7.99 is a 2-star. Alright, so but we have some this is for the child listening rating. Child listening system consists of 49 category, 49 inspection process for 49 element, so the score is 100%. So for the NCAP, actually we have this template talking about the car numbers, child, talking about resistance system, talking about the child resistance system, either 5-star rating or how many percent for the child resistance system. Alright, so back for the prerequisite of the Chinese prerequisite of the NCAP is only car have the ESC. What is ESC? Electronic stability control and seat belt reminder will get the 5-star rating. These two parts consider prerequisite for the safety. Alright, what happens if the car without the ESC or SBR? So if let's say during the test the score is a 5 rating, 5-star rating, but they are missing. But they are missing ESC or SBR, or ESC or SBR are not function. So that car will be relegated into the 4-star. If let's say they have a 4-star, it will be relegated into 3-star, and depend on the situation. Alright, so this is about the simulation test uh, for the vehicle, and see you on the next chapter, chapter 7 and chapter 8. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.